we're going to start with shoulder exercises today. I had a request for that. And just briefly, everything that usually affects your shoulder might affect your neck, your shoulder blades. So we're kind of do the whole complex, right? So if I'm tight here, it's probably going to pull my shoulder up. You know, everything's connected. So let's dive in, and you can do this seated or standing. If you can stand, I'd ask you to stand, but it's perfectly fine to do it seated. Do what is comfortable for you. And it should feel good, or maybe mild discomfort, but no pain. And again, everybody can work within their limits. And that's what I would encourage you to do. So let's just start with some neck, dropping that ear to the shoulder, and just kind of relax the shoulders. Hold about 3 seconds, and then come up, and then left ear to left shoulder. And just think about, again, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, and we're gonna drop and switch sides. And I'm gonna keep going with that about three seconds, and try to think about, you know, your ear directly over that shoulder and relaxing. Sorry, I wanted to get my timer going. Relaxing those shoulders. I'm thinking about your chin maybe coming in a little bit, since often we get into that chin forward position, right? So the double chin is going to be good here. And there we go. Okay, and you know, I'd say do about 5 to 10 to each side, but let's come back to center. And then you're just going to drop your head forward, chin to the chest, and then do that circle where, again, you're bringing your head, and just go slow, to each side, to the left side. So left ear is over the shoulder, left shoulder, right ear is over right shoulder. So, you know, not too fast, but we'll do 5 to 10 of these to each side. And I get a little bit of popping, and what I've heard and what I tell people and what I've researched is that the popping is okay as long as it, you know, again, isn't painful, causing you other issues. All right, and then come back to center and just come up. And then we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So bringing your shoulders way up, let's just say, take it back, and really try to squeeze your shoulder blades together and back down. They're kind of up, inhale, exhale down. Maybe try to breathe into the area. Should try to do that. Think about good posture. So this is good, getting the blood flow to the area, right? Loosening things up when we do these active stretches. So inhale up, exhale down, and really, so we're working on our posture by pulling those shoulder blades together, right? Open up and back down. So I'm just going to do a few more here. And again, this could be, you know, 10 times when you're doing them on your own, if you want a number. And then another nice one, and you can do this seated, and this might be a little bit high for me, but I'm just letting gravity kind of stretch, do some circles, use my body, kind of my hips more than my shoulder joint, and just let my arm a little bit lower, just swing in little circles. We're just letting gravity pull the arm down. And if that's not enough, and I know you probably didn't bring a weight today or have 15 pairs of dumbbells handy like a fitness instructor would, but anyway, you could use a can of soup. Okay, switch direction. I'm trying to get our hips to move a little bit, or trunk to move it a little bit. So not necessarily moving from that shoulder joint, but letting your trunk or hips do the little circular movement. Okay, switch sides. And this one you could do, you know, 30 to 60 seconds. And then at halfway, when you're doing it on your own, just switch direction. But again, just letting gravity stretch it out. And I'm using a 2-pound dumbbell. So it doesn't have to be much. And I feel a little bit more of a stretch. But you don't have to use the weight. Okay, switch direction on this side. But just a nice little stretch, kind of pulling that shoulder out a little bit, if you will. All right, come back up And another range of motion exercise. When you're doing these, we're going to do just cross arm swings, again, to loosen the joints. So think about not having your shoulders up here, right? So relax the shoulders. And also you might think about good posture. So keep going with the arm swing. But I try not to, I tend to go in kind of a, I'm good at arching my low back. So I try to kind of tuck it under a little, keep that good form. Not, it should feel like your neutral spine, just tucking that pelvis under a little bit. So we're keeping good posture while we're doing this. Okay, that's probably, again, 10 times or 5 times each way with one arm under the other. And then we're just going to do the cross stretch now. So reaching above the elbow joint or below. You don't want to put pressure on that joint, but wherever you feel, I almost feel more of a stretch here when I was playing around with this earlier, but either way is good. And again, having that shoulder down and relaxed. And I'm just trying to think about my posture a little bit so I don't go into that really sway back and just tucking my pelvis a little bit. Thinking about good form here. And also, when you're at your desk, okay, wait, switch sides, to think about sitting up straight, right? So if we start to get in keep this stretch, but if you start at your desk and you notice yourself, more leaning forward and getting this rounded position, we're trying to bring ourselves back. So sometimes I put a sticky note on my computer if it doesn't get lost in the others. And sometimes I just have my alarm go off or my Fitbit, and that reminds me, are you sitting up straight? Do you need to get up and move? So I'd recommend that as well. Okay, next one, and again, you could do 20, 30 seconds each side. We'll do they call it the eagle arms. You just kind of lacing those elbows, right? And then you hold them at about shoulder height, could be a little lower, a little higher, but again, trying to keep tops of shoulders relaxed. And if you can't, it's okay if they're not touching, if your palms aren't, you could do back of the hands touch or not. Again, right, we're making it work for you. And I feel a pretty good stretch through the back of the shoulder, a little bit armpit area. And here I like to take a few good deep breaths into the area, into my shoulder joints. And so let's switch sides. Take a few good deep breaths here, 3 to 4. Swing might get a little more intense. All right, but it is one of my favorites, in case you were wondering. Okay, this next one, and I know you don't have a towel handy, but is called the cow face, and I never knew that until I looked it up, but it's reaching these hands right towards each other, so one just coming over the top, one here, and if you don't touch, you can either get that stretch here, come close together, or you can use a towel. Sorry, you don't have to grab it now, but you can work on slowly, grabbing it closer together. So wait, hold that stretch. And this one too, I have a tendency to arch, so I try to check my pelvis, make sure it's a little bit posterior tilted, tucked in a little, pulling this pubic bone up toward my belly button. Okay, and switch sides. And again, you can always use the towel. This one could be a little bit more intense, but also a really good stretch. Taking some deep breaths here, or your 20 to 30 second holds are good. All right, we're almost there. I wanted to show you, so I don't know if you're near a wall, but another good kind of range of motion is doing arm circles. And so we can stand and do them here. We do one side, or against a wall, you might, and you don't have to do this now, but you might feel it a little bit more. Just use that wall to guide you. And then go ahead and switch direction. But really nice with the range of motion, and I really get a nice stretch through here and through my shoulder. And then let's go ahead and do a couple on the other side. And this will be posted, if you don't have this all down, okay, switch direction. It'll be posted on the wellness website on the Ergonomics and Healthy Breaks stretch site within a day or two. All right, and I'm going to end with that one.